Coming up, Kazakhstan will expand the list of citizens who can be vaccinated with Pfizer. All the details next. Why does Kazakhstan need to build nuclear power plants? The energy minister explained. Kazakh freestyle skier Ahmarjan Kalmurzayeva cruised through to the women's aerials final at the 2022 Winter Olympics. How do Kazakh athletes perform in Beijing in general? Stay tuned to find out. The number of coronavirus infections has significantly decreased in Kazakhstan. Over the past day, 1,311 new cases of infection were detected in the country. Almaty is still in the first place in terms of disease growth rates. 382 patients with COVID-19 were registered there. Pavlodar region is in the second place with 157 cases of infection, and North Kazakhstan region closes the top three with 143 patients. In general, since the beginning of the pandemic, the number of coronavirus cases detected in the country has exceeded 1,291,000. According to Kazakh Ministry of Health, currently more than 54,000 Kazakh residents continue to receive treatment for coronavirus. More than 7,000 out of them are in hospitals, including 97 people on a ventilator. To date, over 8,874,000 people have been fully vaccinated with two components of a vaccine in Kazakhstan. Over half of Kazakh residents have received the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, while the second jab has been administered to more than 8.5 million citizens, Kazakh Health Minister Ajar Geniyat reported. According to her, the revaccination campaign is also well underway in the country. Over 2 million Kazakh citizens have already got a booster shot. Geniyat spoke of types of vaccines currently available in the country. I instruct that a sufficient number of vaccines approved by the World Health Organization be made available to all categories of citizens, including for revaccination. Since February 2021, more than 27 million vaccine doses have been delivered to the regions of the country, including 6.4 million doses of the Sputnik V, as well as 2.5 million doses of Cascovidin, 500,000 doses of Coronavac, 6 million doses of Sinopharm, 4 million doses of Comirnaty, and 150,000 doses of the Sputnik Light vaccine, said the minister. Ajar Geniyat said that the list of citizens who can be vaccinated with Pfizer will be expanded. To date, measures were taken to expand the contingents that can be vaccinated with this vaccine. The issue of the supply of the Comirnaty vaccine produced by Pfizer company in the amount of 1 million doses is being worked out to ensure the availability of the vaccine for other vulnerable groups of population, she announced. In the meantime, children between ages 12 and 17, as well as pregnant and nursing women, are receiving Pfizer shots. The vaccine has recently become available for revaccination of health workers and people over 60. Thousands of medical workers took to the streets in Athens. They opposed compulsory vaccination. Those who refused vaccinations gathered in front of the parliament building and demanded that the authorities allow them to return to work. To date, about 5,000 medical workers are unvaccinated in Greece. It's unfair. Some of our colleagues increasingly become infected with the Omicron strain, and this is despite the fact that they were vaccinated. We do not even have pension contributions and medical insurance. A record number of new coronavirus cases were recorded in Hong Kong. There, over the past day, 1,500 residents fell ill. A positive test for COVID-19 was found in many drivers, so local authorities warn of possible interruptions of food supplies. In the worst-case scenario, according to experts, by the end of March, up to 30,000 new cases will be recorded in the country daily. In addition, the region is gradually tightening the restrictions. Air traffic was reduced by 90%. Schools, gyms, and entertainment facilities are closed. At the same time, more than 70% of the adult population is fully vaccinated. Canadian police took control of the situation on the Ambassador Bridge, which connects the province of Ontario and the U.S. state of Michigan. The 6-day blockade has disrupted the supply of fuel, food, and other goods on this route. Every day, bilateral cargo worth about $360 million is transported along the bridge. This comprises 25% of the value of all merchandise trade between the United States and Canada. At the end of last month, dissatisfaction with the current measures against COVID-19 resulted in mass protests. Participants in the Freedom Convoy opposed the new rules, according to which only fully vaccinated drivers can cross the border with the United States.
So from what I know right now, there's been about 25 to 30 total arrests. There were 5 vehicles seized today, and there were 7 vehicles towed yesterday. Any unlawful activity in the area will not be tolerated, and officers will take the necessary action to keep the peace and traffic flowing. There will be criminal consequences for those who interfere with or interrupt traffic flow.
By 2035, Kazakhstan intends to increase the volume of energy generated by nuclear power plants to 6%. This will fully cover the country's electrical needs. This was announced at a briefing by Kazakh Minister of Energy, Bolat Akchulakov. He noted that the country has all the prerequisites for the construction of a nuclear power plant on its territory. Kazakhstan is the world leader in national uranium production. In addition, there is an in-house production of nuclear fuel components, as well as access to uranium isotope enrichment services. The head of the Energy Ministry emphasized that the country produces a sufficient amount of nuclear fuel. The National Nuclear Center and the Institute of Nuclear Physics have 3 research nuclear reactors. In total, about 24,000 people work in the nuclear industry. Since 2010, about 3,000 specialists have been trained in the areas of nuclear and technical physics. The Energy Minister added that recently, the presidents of Kazakhstan and Russia signed a memorandum on training personnel for this industry in leading Russian universities.
Учитывая предстоящий дефицит электроэнергии,
Given the upcoming shortage of electricity, the need to reduce the dependence on coal generation due to the global environment and agenda, as well as the adopted programs in Kazakhstan, the statement on the transition to carbon neutrality, taking into account the deterioration of production capacities, as well as the huge potential of Kazakhstan in the development of nuclear energy, the construction of nuclear power plants is the most promising solution.
перспективным решением.
In 2021, fees from toll road sections exceeded 8 billion tenge. This was reported by the country's Ministry of Industry and Infrastructure Development. In particular, almost 7 billion came from 4 roads of national significance: Nur-Sultan-Temirtau, Nur-Sultan-Shchuchynsk, Almaty-Kapshagay, and Almaty-Khorgos. In addition, since the autumn of last year, 7 more paid sections of roads have been launched: Taraz-Kaynar, Shymkent-Kızılorda, Shymkent-Taraz, Shymkent, the border of Uzbekistan, Taldyqurghan-Kapshagay, Kokshetau-Shchuchynsk, Nur-Sultan-Pavlodar. Brought the treasury over 1 billion tenge. The collected money will be used to maintain the support of the road and roadside infrastructure, as well as the software and hardware equipment on these paid areas. Reliability and strength. The International Civil Aviation Organization representatives praised the level of flight safety in Kazakhstan. The indicator was 84%, which is 15% higher than the global average. The pandemic made some adjustments, but we see now that the restrictions are gradually easing, and we expect that new routes to Kazakhstan, and more importantly, through Kazakhstan, will develop. Furthermore, Kazakh airlines are not included in the EU blacklist. The cooperation with the Department of Mobility and Transport of the European Commission facilitates further improvement of aviation safety in the country.
Создана авиационная администрация, которая за буквально несколько лет работы уже показала свои результаты.
An aviation administration has been created, which has already been showing its results for several years. This information was positively received by the European Commission. Last year, we became a member of the European Civil Aviation Conference. This guarantees that Kazakhstan should no longer be subject to any restrictive or other measures of the European Union.
Скажем так, не должен подпадать под какие-то ограничительные или другие меры Европейского Союза.
According to the head of the Civil Aviation Committee, the introduction of the open sky regime for 12 airports in Kazakhstan will also help for the country's air harbors to be suitable not only for direct but also for transit flights, for example to Japan or South Asia. Kazakhstan needs to meet the highest standards of flight safety. This will be facilitated by the exchange of experience with European partners. improving the quality of life of Kazakh residents, developing eco-volunteering, as well as restoring social facilities in cities affected by the January events. These are the main areas funded by the Qulda project. Applications for the fourth stage of grant competition are accepted from non-governmental organizations registered in the country. In total, the organizers plan to support 11 initiatives that will be implemented from April to October 2022. Submission of applications is underway. It will last until February 28th. The results of the competition will be announced no later than March 18th.
Мы все время стараемся реагировать на то, что у нас случается в стране, и на что мы можем действительно повлиять.
We are always trying to react to what is happening in the country, what we can influence as a civil society. Therefore, we decided to launch 3 directions. 2 of them are economic and environmental, including the consequences of quarantine. At the same time, projects should contain 2 tools, digital technologies and advocacy. We receive applications from various cities. I'm especially glad that many NGOs are interested in this competition and want to contribute.
Этим конкурсом интересуются многие НПО и хотят внести свой вклад.
According to the organizers, 3 stages of the project were implemented earlier. All of them were aimed at solving various problems. First, funding was aimed at minimizing the negative impact of the COVID-19 pandemic in the cities of Nur-Sultan and Almaty. Second, to support the population during emergencies, the development of volunteering. The third phase is aimed at promoting the ability of civil society to respond effectively to emergencies. The National Museum of Kazakhstan presented the image of Bolgan Ana, one of the brightest representatives of the Golden Horde era. This is the first hyper-realistic sculpture of a woman based on anthropological data. According to scientists, Bolgan Ana was the daughter of Joshi Khan, while other researchers claim that she was his daughter-in-law, or one of the rulers of the Great Steppe. In general, the items of clothing of the buried women and the materials found next to her indicate that Bolgan Ana held a high status. This is proved by her silk robe, gold earrings and a bowl, a festive shapan, as well as a mirror and a handle made of precious metal. The exhibition is presented by the Qaraganda Museum of Local History.
Айтамыз ғой, біз қызғалдақтың отаны деп. Сол анау алтын тостағанда
We have repeatedly said that Kazakhstan is the birthplace of tulips. A tulip is depicted on the bottom of the bowl. On the sides, there is a national pattern in the form of sheep horns, which indicates the continuity of generations. Our exhibition started with the National Museum, and then we plan to travel to all the regions of the country in order to demonstrate the chronicle of the Golden Horde and the history of the great ruler Joshi Khan.
Алтын Орда тарихын, оның ішінде Жошы әулетінің бәрін көрсетпекшіміз.